Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kings of Coffee. I'm Rusty, and on the December edition of Ask KoC, we've got two questions that have come in that we want to address. You may remember that on the Ask KoC segment, we're asking you, the viewer, to write us with any coffee-related question you may have. If we decide to use your question on air, we're going to send you one of these limited edition Kings of Coffee coffee mugs. Today we've got a question from Huey in Florida and Denise in Virginia. You two have both won this particular coffee mug, and at the end of the segment, I'll tell you how you can get it. For now, let's jump into the questions. So Huey from Florida writes and asks, why is it important to use fresh water when brewing coffee? He indicated that he watched several of our programs, and we're constantly talking about the value of fresh water along with a couple of other key things in fresh coffee. Why do we need fresh water? Kind of simple. Basically what we're talking about here, Huey, is 98% of your coffee is water, 98%. And tap water has a lot of solubles and solids in it that can trip up, if you will, the consistency of your coffee. You don't want chlorine in your water. You don't want hypochlorite in your water. Also, water treatment plants vary across the country and across the world. And with some of these water treatment plants, although the water is deemed safe for human consumption, they still have a lot of minerals in them, like copper and iron. These are two things that can have a serious impact on how your coffee tastes. So you want to make sure that you have some form of fresh water to take out those elements which would cause a high risk of you having an inconsistent, if not a bad cup of coffee. He also asked, what do the Kings of Coffee use? So there's 4 members. 2 of our members have a home filtration system, which is very similar to what you'll find in most local coffee shops. It's so important to the local coffee brewer that their coffee is consistent, that they invest heavily in some type of filtration system, like 2 of our members. Then there's 2 of us, like me and Vern, who use bottled water. I like Evian. It's consistent, or I use Deer Park sometimes as well, but it's very good, mineral-free, but fresh spring water, and it's good each and every time. If you like an artisan style of water, like Fiji is very good as well. This is what Vern used for all of his home brew, this artisan Fiji. You can't go wrong with either one, or like I said, any other type of bottled spring water. What you don't want to do is you don't want to use distilled water, bottled or other, because distilled water has everything taken out of it. So some of the things that you still get in spring water, which you need for a really good cup of coffee, are gone with distilled. So no distilled and no tap. Go with fresh, whether you do a filtration system or bottled, and you'll be glad you did. The second question that we got came in from Virginia, from Denise, and she indicated that while she's using fresh beans, sometimes the taste of her coffee is bitter. So I believe that in all probability she's using something that's in the dark roast category, like this French roast. This smells phenomenal. I just picked this up today. So you have 3 categories of roasting types, right? So in your dark roast category, the tendency is that those are going to be a little stronger. My first recommendation for Denise is step back to the medium roast category. When you go to your local coffee shop, explain to him or her that you want to try something in their family of medium roast. It won't be as strong tasting as a dark roast, and it may hit the spot for you. If not, the lighter version is actually called, a light roast. The light roast, medium, and then dark are the 3 types of families of roast that you get with any kind of coffee, right? And if you were in the dark roast family, it may be a bit too strong for you. Or it could be because of the way that the bean is being ground. As an example, this is an espresso roast bean, also fresh and really good. If someone in your family, for example, is brewing espresso, whether they're doing it with an espresso roast bean, Italian roast, French, any of the dark roast beans, the grind itself is going to be very fine because that's what you need for espresso. If you, on the other hand, are taking the same setting and you're grinding for espresso but brewing on your drip coffee machine, your taste is going to be kind of all over the map, and it may taste bad because it's the wrong type of grind. When you look at a drip coffee maker, it can't be as fine. It needs to be a little more loose so that the water can get through at the proper rate, and then you get a consistent cup there. Just like we wouldn't want a loose grind for espresso, you don't want a fine grind for drip. So I would say check the settings on your actual burr grinder to to make sure that when you're grinding for that drip maker, that you have the proper setting for that, right? So we talked about bean types, or I'm sorry, in terms of, light, medium, and dark. You're going to try the medium. You're going to double check your setting. The third thing I would recommend is that you attend a cupping session at one of your local roasters or coffee shops. Cuppings are phenomenal because they allow you to go through and taste every type of coffee the right way, how to process the essence of coffee, how to understand the aroma, and then going back to what we said about your light, medium, and dark roast, you really get to understand the nuances of each of those families. And you may find that you really do like a dark roast, but done a particular way. Or you may like the light roast. Either way, a cupping session is going to help you go a long way towards solidifying what you really like, or more importantly, what you don't like. We don't want you to spend your money on a dark roast bean if it doesn't taste well for you. If you don't know how to do a cupping session, write us and tell us where you are, and we can put you in touch with a local coffee shop or local roaster and tell you when their next sessions are going to be, and you can go and visit them and have a really good experience with cupping. And I think between determining the grind type, making sure that you're not grinding your drip coffee maker for espresso, understanding the three types of roast, light, medium, dark, and then going to a cupping session, I think you'll be fine in terms of finding the right type of coffee that tastes best for you, because coffee is an individual experience. So for Huey and Denise, thank you guys for writing in. Write us at info@thekingsofcoffee.com with your information, and our team will be mailing this out to you post haste. Hopefully we can get it to you in time for Christmas so that you can enjoy your Christmas coffee in one of our fine mugs. For everyone else, we're looking forward to the questions for January. Make sure you use the hashtag askkoc. You can write us at the same email address, info@thekingsofcoffee.com, or hit us up in the description here. Either way, we're going to go through, we're going to select the top 2 questions, and we're going to ask and answer them on our January edition, and then we're going to send you your new coffee mug that's going to have all of our neat Kings of Coffee stuff on it, that's going to make you the hit of your neighborhood and your family. We thank you guys for rocking with the Kings of Coffee. We ask that you continue to follow us. All of our social media is in the description below. Speaking of which, real quick story. Today after church, my wife and I were sitting in a local coffee shop having lunch. And while we were there, we got a follow from a Spanish coffee roaster, in Spain. I mean, when it came through, all the language in the follow request was all in Spanish, and it was humbling. So we now have, folks following us from Spain, Italy, Greece, France, England, and obviously the continental United States. So we're thankful for that. We ask that you guys keep rocking with us. We'll keep rocking with you. We want to keep bringing you great coffee content, and we will throughout all of 2018. For now, remember, if you have a question, send it to us. Use the hashtag askkoc. Pop it in the description. Send it to us in an email, and we'll get you one of these really, really limited Kings of Coffee coffee mugs. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.